We are live. Let me know if you can hear me well. Today, we are going to take off, hopefully, the anti-glare coating of this IPS monitor. Now, what I really want is to get this mirror I have on this laptop. You can see here. It is so beautiful. It is so perfect. This laptop and also the laptop that I have right here that I'm using right now, it is also a perfect mirror, but I would have to, flip it and all that. So it looks fantastic. So even when these LCD displays don't have, good black levels, the contrast is, it looks so much better when they are perfectly glossy. And some people might be on the fence on this one. Let's ignore the hassle of doing this. Let's say this is easy to do, okay? Which is not. It is not easy to do, especially with LCD monitors. Luke said that this is not as easy. With QD-OLED, it's a piece of cake. Supposedly, you do this wet paper towel method with QD-OLED monitors, and the matte finish just peels right off completely, very easily, no issues at all. But with LCDs, it's not easy at all. And it takes more time. So we've been doing this for 6 hours already. And Luke recommended me like 7. So I said, okay, let's go live. Let's, talk about it. We'll do it. We'll do it after an hour. So let's say that this is easy to do. Okay. And by the way, let me know if you can hear me well. So let's ignore the fact that this is, okay, we have Luke here. Let me add him to stage.
Hey there.
Hey, Luke, how are you doing?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Let me, yeah, that's good. I can hear you well. So I was saying, look, let's ignore the fact that doing this might be problematic for some people. Some people might be afraid of doing it. So let's say it is easy. Okay. Some people still doubt that the results are going to be better, and that's perfectly understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend you to go and hunt to see displays that are perfectly glossy. And now that I've been focusing on this, I've seen many. I mean, I've seen this laptop I'm using right now is a mirror. The laptop that I show here is a perfect mirror. Look at this thing.
Yep.
It's just, there's zero anti-glare and it looks so clear.
Yep.
And it's just an LCD screen, but it looks beautiful. Okay, it's also touchable. Mm-hmm. For some reason, when they design these touchable displays, they do it more clear. I don't know why. So yeah. I would recommend you to go out there and search for displays that are perfectly glossy, like your iPhone. I have a Samsung S23 Ultra that looks very glossy too. And I think that should clear up your doubts that you're gonna, most likely get something that looks better. Okay. Now the thing is, so I think there's no doubt about it. I have so many people email me examples with pictures, and not a single person has emailed me and said, "Hey, I did this, and I am not happy with it, man. This looks like a mirror. I can see myself now on the monitor, and I don't like it." Not a single person has told me that. I had someone email me saying he broke the TV because he dropped it, not because of removing the anti-glare. The anti-glare removal was easy, but he had an accident. He dropped the TV. He was still happy that it was looking amazing. So even like he should be upset because he messed up an S90D. He was not upset. Of course, every people is different. But he was saying, man, it looked fantastic while it lasted. Unfortunately, he dropped it, man. It's like we have to be careful, of course, and we are definitely running the risk of breaking the monitor or the TV. So hopefully we can we can be successful today. But yeah, look, we have some comments here. What do you have to say about that? You were telling me that you got a lot of criticism from
Yeah,
people that are afraid.
I've got a couple. Yeah, I've got a couple hundred messages. Some are
Oh, really?
positive. Some have been negative. Some have been pretty intense. I think really what it comes down to this scenario is right. You could like go to your local Best Buy or wherever you're at, if you're not in the United States or somewhere else. If there's some store in which you can walk in and look at displays, ones that'll give you a really good idea of what this will look like. If you go look at the IMAX, if you go look at the Apple Cinema display, um, especially the older ones, if you could see those, the iPhones, the phones. I realize phones are small. So, like when I was using that as an example, I had many people say, well, that doesn't even make any sense because the phone's so small. But I'm like, well, I'm using my phone outside. I'm using it all over. The glare, you know what I mean? It doesn't impact me because it's bright enough to fight the glare. Of course, an S90 or an S95D is more than bright enough to handle whatever glare you got going on, but I still wouldn't recommend it like in a living room with tons of windows open. It's very reflective. But I've
No,
gotten a
the
lot of
problem with
message.
QD-OLED is it still remains that you have lifted blacks because of that scatter plate and the
Mhm,
blue pass through. The ambient light goes in and raises the black floor, and it completely destroys the contrast. So
mhm.
QD-OLEDs need to be in a dark room anyway. But
Yeah.
if it was not a QD-OLED, let's say, I mean, I saw the Bravia 9 at the store, and I was glad that FOMO compared the Bravia 9 with his S95D after he peeled it off,
Mhm.
and it's very glossy. Now it has some um, reflective properties. Let's say the way that the light reflects on it is not as perfect as a mirror. There's some annoyances, let's say, but it is glossy. So there are some TVs that look almost like a mirror too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see
And
that.
they use like this, a lot of LCDs. I use like what is called like a wide viewing angle lens cover over the TV. And so like when a reflection hits it, so let's say you had one light and it hits it, well, it ends up becoming like 10 little lights on each side.
Yeah,
And FOMO's video kind of shows it really well. The Bravia 9 has a pretty intense wide angle viewing angle on it. My Sony Z8H has it a little bit, and then the Z9K had it even more. And then they, as LCDs have gone forward, and I think if you, the Samsungs use it too, I'm pretty sure of it. The LCDs, the LEDs, I should say. I find that more distracting to have 15 little lights all across the television, maybe a little bit less bright than one little light.
yeah, and sometimes some of these TVs have like a rainbow reflection,
Yes,
which is I
that's
mean
from the
that's
wide
really
viewing
really
angle as well.
distracting.
Yeah,
We're talking about colorful
yeah,
rainbow
yeah.
reflection that's also spreads across the screen. That's very very
Yeah, I would say, and having looked at them all, I was at Value Electronics. I've seen them in Best Buy recently. I would say that the C4's anti-glare is probably the best in a brighter room. It just handles it really well.
yeah,
And the G5 too. So the G4,
yeah,
because of the MLA, it's got a different color and it has a different reflection and a little bit lifted blacks in a lighter room. The G5 is much better. G5 is much more similar to C4. So when I saw the G5 initially, I'm like, okay, that looks really good. That reminds me of like a C4, but much brighter because the
yeah.
C4 cannot get that bright. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's
Um,
definitely, in my opinion, that is definitely the highlight of the LG G5. If
yeah.
you are in a in a room with lights, I
Yes,
think it doesn't get any better than the
I
G5.
agree.
There's no competition.
Yeah.
It's going to preserve the contrast,
Yeah.
and it looks super glossy. It is super bright.
Yep. Yep.
I think it's awesome for that.
Mhm.
Now, this question also, look, people were asking me, hey, LCD monitors, don't they have a polarizer? And you were
They do.
saying that was a problem with WRGB OLED monitors, it was a problem to remove the anti-glare because they have a polarizer. And the problem is if you remove the polarizer, you're basically breaking
It's ruined. Yeah, the TV will be unwatchable. I have removed a polarizer on a WRGB LG OLED monitor, 27-inch. It was a 1440p to 40 hertz, I believe, is the first one that came out. You can remove the anti-glare on those as well as a 32-inch LG one, but you have to keep in mind that it took me the paper towel method about 8.5 hours for it to sit on there. And when I was taking it off, I mean, you really run the risk of damaging that polarizer under it. It came off, and it came off much like what
But
you're going to have right now, but it's just the risk is so high damaging the polarizer when you're doing this, whether it be on a WRGB or an LCD. It's like you would want to like when you didn't care anymore if it got destroyed. Well, you're not in the store. That's the other thing. Like a lot of people said, "Oh, you're going to do these things and damage it, and just go return it to the store." I mean, I'll be honest with you all. I took a gamble on the 55. If I was going to damage it, I'd turn it back to the store. I mean, that's dishonest, and I was just going to eat it. I was pretty confident that I could take it off because of all the others I've done in the past. Um, I just would say that if you're going to do something like this on an LCD or a WRGB OLED, you just keep in mind you run a high risk of potentially damaging it, as we'll see right now. I mean, how long has the paper towels been on yours for? How many hours?
so wait, before we go there, let me see if I understand this right. So you're saying when you did it on the WRGB OLED monitors, did the polarizer came off, or were you
No, it
careful
didn't.
to not remove the polarizer?
No, it didn't come off. But I'm just saying that if you didn't keep the paper towel on long enough, the adhesive would still have some adhesion to the polarizer while you're pulling it up, and you could literally pull up strips of the polarizer while you're pulling up the anti-glare. So you just got to have it to the point where, and you'll see in a minute, it should lift up like a wet paper towel on an LCD. Okay, on these QD-OLEDs, no matter how long you keep the paper towel on, you're going to have a little bit of grip on it when you're pulling it off. It's just a heck of a lot easier pulling it up after the paper towel's been sitting on there for like 5 or 6 hours.
So basically, you're saying with these LCD based displays.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me see if I made okay. So with these LCD based displays or WRGB OLEDs, we have to make sure that when we start, it looks easy, because if there's still glue between the coating and the polarizer, you are going to definitely damage the polarizer, and that's gonna ruin the display. So you have to do this paper towel method long enough
hmm
so it comes easy and you
It should
don't
be as
remove the
easy. It
polarizer.
should be as easy as lifting up that wet paper towel. It
Okay.
should be
But
no
yeah,
force
but
behind
definitely
on
we can
LCD.
say, look, that on the risk category, yes, WRGB is like the highest risk. You are definitely you have a high probability of breaking it. Then let's say LCD might be like second place or close second. But QD-OLED is not even close. It's super easy to remove. Is that a fair conclusion?
Yeah, I would say the most impossible to remove would probably be a VA panel LCD. Those are very difficult to remove an anti
On
from.
the VA
I
panels, that's
a
most of the
VA panel.
TVs.
Yeah, don't even attempt to try to remove a VA, and especially if it has a wide viewing angle on it, like the Bravia 9 and stuff like that. Don't even bother. Don't even attempt to.
Oh,
They don't use water-based adhesive on that. A lot of
oh,
IPS monitors and TVs, they use a water-based anti-glare adhesive with the anti-glare, and that's why this works. A lot of people were asking me, Ariel, well, why does this work? Does it seep through the anti-glare? Will it damage the LCD or the components under it and all that? Well, first of all, the reason why you're using distilled water is that distilled water on electronics, if it dries off, in theory, it shouldn't cause any issues. There's no minerals in the water. There's nothing that could cause corrosion in theory. The way that the paper towel works to break down the adhesion on a water-based glue on an anti-glare is it does create moisture, okay, on the anti-glare, and then it makes it so that that glue that's in between the LCD panel and the anti-glare, it breaks down that adhesion by moisture. You could actually technically do the same kind of thing. There's a guy on the hard forum, his name's Call Sign Vega. It's all the newest monitors. He's done a bazillion anti-glare removals as well. He uses similar to what they use to remove car tint. Okay, I don't know if you all are familiar with that, but there's like a steamer, and he doesn't put it right on the panel, but enough so that the steam creates it breaks down the adhesion between the panel and the LCD, and he easily removes the anti-glare that way. I don't have anything like that, so the paper towel costs $5 in water. You just got to wait the time to do it, and it always seems to work. But there is other ways.
I mean, it would be interesting to see a video like that. I mean, if there is a device that we can buy to do this, I mean, when you're doing it to a 77-inch TV, I think it's worth the investment. If there's a safer, easier way of doing it, I think it would be worth it. I would like to see that way. But let's address these comments from the beginning of the stream before we started. Someone here in the chat said that he doesn't understand why you were recommending to warm up the TV first and then turn it off to start peeling it. And I think you said on the previous stream that yeah, you can just keep it on. Like you're not
Yeah,
like
I think
dogmatic
keeping it
about it.
on is
We
fine
talk
at
about many
first.
options.
Yeah, when I was doing the 55, I turned it off because I was just concerned, maybe on it could get damaged or something, and I laid it flat. The 55 I laid flat. The 77 I just had it leaning up against the wall and did it, and I kept it on for the most part. The video that I showed peeling off some of it, I did turn off the television while doing that because just the brightness, and it's just harder to see me pulling it,
Oh yeah,
off.
because I guess if the TV is on, it's difficult to see. It's hard to see where you
It'd be
are.
hard for you all to see me
Yeah.
pulling off the anti-glare. It'd be more difficult. But I would recommend keeping it on. Just go on YouTube and get 24-hour white screen and just full brightness on it for 30 to 60 minutes, and it warms up quite a bit. I will tell you this: I had a gentleman over in Europe. Okay, Ariel said he measured the temperature before removing the anti-glare on his S95D and then after, and he saw, I think it was like a 6 Celsius difference. So that's like 12 degrees.
That makes a lot of
So,
sense because
yeah.
I mean obviously you're letting it breathe better. I mean you're removing something. It just
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So for those who think, oh, this is gonna be like dangerous long term. So let's say after you successfully remove the anti-glare, you don't drop the TV. Okay. So is this gonna be worse for the display long term? Well, think about that. Most likely the panel is gonna run cooler.
Oh, it definitely
And
does.
we
Absolutely.
know that less heat means less likely to get image retention and permanent screen burning. So
Yep.
this might be better for the lifetime of the panel. Now, the thing is, obviously, if you scratch the screen somehow, then you have nowhere to go. So I think my recommendation, what I think so far is if you have an S90C, S90D, a glossy QD-OLED monitor, I would enjoy it like that as it is, and I would only remove the coating, which is already semi-glossy. It's not that bad, especially on the monitors. My MSI QD-OLED monitor is very glossy, significantly glossier than the S90. I would use it like that, and with cleaning over time, you might mess it up. It might get scratched. You might, damage it a little bit. Then you can just peel it off. That's what I would do. It makes sense. But the surface behind it, based on what Luke reported and many others, is very hard. It's like It's like glass. So it would be like, I mean, would you say if you compare that with Gorilla Glass? I mean, Gorilla Glass should be better, but can we? Is there a way to know really if it's fragile in comparison with Gorilla Glass on the phone?
I think it's as far as like the look and reflection of it and the texture of it being no texture at all, it looks identical to Gorilla Glass. As far as how strong it is, I don't know how strong it is compared to Gorilla Glass. I can tell you that any of these TVs, if you were to pick up just one side of it on the floor, right, lay it flat, pull up one side a little bit, you can make the TV bend a little bit. I do know that QD OLEDs, they do come, with curves, right?
Yeah.
So we do know that the panel is capable of being bent to a certain radius
Yes.
before you potentially could break it. So it's got some flexibility there.
I
Where
mean,
Gorilla Glass doesn't, like my Apple Cinema display. If I were to take the panel off, the Gorilla Glass off of it, I can't bend that at all. If I start bending it, it's
yes,
just gonna crack.
I agree. Gorilla Glass seems to be like more rigid. My
Yes.
S90D is a little bit bent on the left
Yeah.
side. And actually, one of the previous S90D, which was the replacement, I replaced it for this one. The reason why I replaced it was because when they came to install the TV, they insisted we have to take it off. We have to take it out of the box and do the installation because I wanted to do it to record a video. And I'm like, okay, you know what they did? They flipped the TV upside down to put the legs, and the
Uh,
weight of the electronics bent the panel, but big time. The bend was like, very bad. And even then, the screen didn't get damaged, and the bend
no.
was severe. I showed that
Yeah.
on a video. The bend was terrible, and the panel was not, that damaged basically. And I'm sure maybe you could bend it back, but paying top dollar for a TV, you damage it, you have to replace it. That's what I would do. That's what I do.
My S95B had a bend to it, and I've tried everything to get rid of that bend. I don't know how one would go about doing that. And every single one I've seen of the 95s, not the 95s, the 90s, the 90Ds, and so forth, they all have some kind of bend to it. They're not perfectly straight. You know what I mean? Like there's always something to them. I wanted to just mention, like, so I had some people message me about removing the semi-glossy on monitors and the S90D. And the reason why they removed it, some people actually, for whatever reason, they actually ruined the anti-glare on their monitor or screen due to wiping it. Some people are recommending using, rubbing alcohol and things of that nature on that anti-glare. The
Samsung
problem is
recommended alcohol. I saw a video
some
from the
have.
display guy. He asked a Samsung representative, and that's what they recommended:
Yeah.
alcohol with microfiber.
Right. But if you just do it with water, just like tap water with microfiber, I guess it can cause problems. So anyway, people show me photos that they ruined it. Like they couldn't clean it no matter what anymore. They couldn't get it right. So removing the anti-glare got them in a much better place than we were before. So I think that's still a possibility. If you either one buy an open box or used one and it's got scratches or messed up anti-glare, guess what? You can remove it and make it look amazing. Number two, the anti-glares definitely have a magenta tint and also exacerbate the QD-OLED magenta color to them. I did put the 32-inch monitor with the anti-glare removed next to the 55 with the anti-glare removed. The S95D is way more black than the 32-inch monitor. So I don't know if they're both the same gen or not. I know the pixels, they updated the pixels in the 4th gen QD OLEDs where you don't have the fringing as much, because I had a 95C and the fringing was pretty obvious to my eyes, okay? At a 77-inch. And I can't see fringing anymore
Yeah.
on the TVs. And in the monitor, you can see a little bit, because obviously if I'm running it at 100% DPI, and you're close to the monitor, you can see some fringing still on the text, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not IPS perfect like RGB, you know what I mean, where it's just perfect with Windows. But if you don't want that magenta tint, uh, for the TVs like the 90s and the 95s, my gosh, it's so much more black. There's just no magenta tint at all to those TVs, but on the monitor there still is, even with the anti-glare removed. So I feel like there's some differences still there, Ario, between the two of them, because why would one look jet black and then the other one still had that magenta tint from like the 95C generation, the 95B generation? I feel like something's still maybe there going on. I don't know. Maybe people in the chat know if the monitors are 4th gen or they're 3rd gen. I don't know.
Yeah, the monitors are definitely different because they did improve the pixel layout
They
to
did.
improve the text clarity.
Yep.
Definitely. And if you zoom in with your phone very closely, you might be able to see a difference. Maybe that would be, a comparison you can do, like just zoom in very close
Yeah.
to your monitor and then the TV. So yeah, it's interesting you're saying that the TV looks more black than
Way more.
the
Way more.
monitor. So let
Way
me say
more.
this: Green Money GoFundMe campaign um, is it's going really great. I really appreciate all the people that have donated. The thing is, we're talking about thousands of dollars to buy the TV. So we're gonna take a sponsor. FOMO reach out, and FOMO is awesome. I mean, he hooked me up with a great sponsor. Yeah, he uses that, and other YouTubers do. So I will take a sponsor, and that's gonna help us to get the new S95F faster. Okay,
Nice.
but still, I would wait to maybe Black Friday to get a discount because we know the prices of these TVs go down significantly. Or maybe I would try to hunt for an open box because, like, look, it's saying if we can find an open box, especially if we can see it at the store, and it is significantly discounted because the screen has like a small scratch or something like that. Look what he did. He got a 77-inch S95D for how much? $1,700, $1,650.
It was 1658 plus tax. So
Look at
yeah.
that. I mean, if I see that, I'm getting a 77-inch. If I see an S95F for $2,000 even, that has a damage on the screen that I know, oh, that's gonna be the coating, I would go for it. That's an insane. I mean, that's a benefit. If you're gonna do this anyway, I would hunt for that to get the deal. I mean, the steal of a deal on these TVs because they are very fragile, and it's very likely that any store is gonna have one of those. So yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think it's a great thing to know. But yeah, the GoFundMe is going great. We still have a lot to go though. It's a lot of money to get these TVs. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone who have donated. So we're gonna take a sponsor. We're gonna get faster there. So let's see. I hope we can get it by this Black Friday, hopefully. So fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Where's
So
the
just buy a
chat?
G5
I
and
don't
put it
see
there.
the
The
chat. Do
thing
we
is,
have a
man, if you want, and again, the G5, I cannot wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I asked my local Best Buy. They told me next month they will have the G5, and I will go there to check it out. Of course, you have to take it home, change the settings, use the right content, gaming, tweak everything, fine tune it to really see what the TV is all about. And you need the right lighting conditions. On the store, you never know with those lighting conditions. What I'm looking forward to see it. The thing is, even when the G5 is very bright, and it might look different because of this new four stack, tandem RGB and all that,
It definitely
it's
does.
still WRGB OLED. QD
Yeah.
OLED is far superior. It is the superior technology. You have better screen uniformity, better gradation of colors. The color luminance is going to be so much higher. I mean, I haven't seen any comparisons, and this is what I want to see. Like when you show the G5 versus any QD OLED, show me a color clipping test pattern. Show me a full screen red 10,000 nits. I want to see that. It's not going to come close. I guarantee you. You put a QD OLED, it doesn't even need to have it doesn't even need to be the S95F. I guarantee you, if you put a full screen yellow, 10,000 nits HDR, pure yellow, on a QD-OLED, you compare that to the G5, it's not going to be close. So then the argument is, oh yeah, but most content is not using BT2020, all that. I don't care what the content is using. I'm playing games on the PC. I get maximum color all the time on every single game. And if the game doesn't have it, I use a mod and I change the game. So I can see the difference all the time in every single content. And the other argument of the G5 versus QD OLED is, even when there's nothing going on, let's say 100 nits of a gray color or whatever, like anything, I can see the difference between QD OLED and WRGB. I can see the difference. Now, the G5 looks different. I'm looking forward to it, but still, it looks more correct. RGB, QD OLED looks more correct. But yeah, the G5, if you have ambient lights, that's just the way to go. It's not close. I will get the G5. And it's an awesome TV, but QD OLED is the superior technology.
So I think that like when I saw the G5 next to the G4 and then the 95D and the 95F,
You were there at
I felt that the from the G4 to G5 was the biggest jump I've seen with LG since back. Just so you all know, I had I had imported from UK a 15-inch LG. I don't know if you all know that from way back when, before they even had TVs here. A 15-inch OLED LG. Okay, it was like a 1366 by 768. Just because I wanted to see that OLED technology, was so amazing, and having dealt with LCDs for so long, I'm like, I want perfect blacks.
How much was that? 3,000?
Oh, it was like $2,000 or something like that is what I spent for that stupid little 15-inch thing back then. And then I had the curved EC 9300 LG 55-inch 1080p. I think that was one of the first, LG, large, a number of TVs made by them, because usually they were very expensive. They were like, 8-10 grand for the first 55-inch, OLEDs. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that I've had a G1, a G2, a G3, sold them all, upgrade them all here, basically. MLA was a nice jump up brightness wise. It absolutely was. But this G5 is more than just the brightness. I think everybody gets stuck on the brightness with the G5, but that 4 stack, it actually, the color and the depth of the color and the color saturation is looking much closer to QD-OLED than a WOLED ever has looked. So to me, I think this year, what's going to really come down to, it'll be the G5, it'll be the Mark II by Sony, and I think it'll be 9B by Panasonic will be, going for here. And I think Sony's processing is by far and away the best, in my honest opinion. If you see all the TVs there, if you're watching them, they're all, calibrated out. I do think there's some special sauce to Sony that just looks special and different, and they've always kind of felt like that for me. The G5 is a super beautiful TV. I see people saying just go buy the G5, and that's a very safe recommendation. It's also, as it currently stands today, probably one of the most expensive ones, size for size, for the high-end models, other than Sony, obviously. The thing I have about WOLED, and I have had this issue since day one, is even though you can see the vertical banding, in the low gross grayscales, I can see that in light content too, guys. So the difference with QD-OLED is you still got that banding low end. Okay, they both do. You're not escaping that. If you want to escape that, go back to plasma, go back to CRT if you don't want to deal with that. Because even LCDs, LCDs can have some vertical banding, but it's more DSC on the LEDs for me than anything. I don't see as much.
Plasmas have DSC too, especially with bright content. My Kuro has very bad DSC, but the screen uniformity is great. But yeah, QD OLEDs, when you get it bright, it's just perfect. Like there's no.
But so when you get a brighter, Ariel, I don't see the vertical banding brighter in QD OLED. And to me, that's huge, because I'm seeing it in the bright content, and it doesn't matter. Like G5, G4, you're gonna see that. I played F1 on all 4 at the same time there at Valuetronics. You go watch the video that Brian and FOMO streamed for like 7 hours. I was there for like maybe 3 of it, 4. I didn't even know they were streaming. I was just walking in because I was going to go buy a TV. And then I'm like, oh, wow. You know, it really threw me for a curve because I was going to go for, and I had my mindset on the G5. I didn't own a G4, but I had G1, G2, G3. And I've had a 95B and C. So I've dabbled in all of it. I struggle with a Samsung operating system with a 95C and the 95B. I had a lot of dropouts when I was playing with my PC. I was playing 144 hertz in the 95C, and I'd be sitting there playing. All of a sudden, black screen. I'm like, what is this? So I know they fixed that, as far as I heard.
Yeah,
With
before you
the new ones,
let me comment on some of
I
the
haven't
things
seen any
you said so far before
my
I forget.
95Ds.
Yeah, Classy, I asked him in his video if there's any known issues with the 165 hertz on the S95F, and he told me so far I just turn it on the PC and it worked. No issue so far.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is, of course, the G5. If you're not going to do this on the S95F,
Then the
I
G5 is
think
the
it's
only
not
option if you
close.
want the
Get the
top end.
G5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would not even consider the S95F if
Yeah.
this didn't exist. If it wasn't for you,
Agreed.
I would
Agreed.
not
If you
even.
couldn't do this, I wouldn't touch the 95D or 95F with a
No,
10-foot pole. That's just me. I mean, that
no.
anti-glare was, I would go with a G4, G5 over a 95F or 95D all day long if I couldn't remove this, period.
Yeah,
Just, and the end.
absolutely. Also, I have to say here we have someone who sent me pictures of his G60SD. I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
next time because I don't have my PC here with OBS. I'm using StreamYard. I'm gonna show the pictures. He's very happy about it. Everyone who sends me pictures with the monitor and the TV, that they're all blown away.
Yeah,
They
I've
say it
never
looks
gotten any
incredible.
negatives. Every single person has done it. I've asked them any regrets, anything. Nope.
Yeah, the thing is that I think the negativity behind this is coming from people who either don't have the monitor or the TV, or they have it, but they are afraid of doing it. But people who have done it already, there's no negativity. It's like, oh wow, this is amazing. So understand that part when you are, considering doing it. The thing is, hey, I get it. Talking about a $3,000 TV, you're gonna do this. I get it. It's not for everyone. But the thing is, I strongly believe, especially if you have an S95D or if you buy an S95F, I strongly believe you're missing out with that anti-glare. Is my opinion. It is the anti-glare. It has no place on that TV, which is potentially the best display in the world. It just has no place there. Okay, you don't get that TV to have it in ambient light, like with suboptimal conditions. It just doesn't make any sense. And even under ambient light, it still looks okay without the anti-glare.
Yeah.
Based on all the reports from everyone who has shared their pictures and everything. We have another one here, broken tear. It removed the layer
Here and
on one of his
on my one as
G80SD
well. Yesterday looks
as well as
incredible.
yesterday. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah,
incredible.
the G80 looks a lot better. I did that and it looks a lot better with it off for sure.
Yes, I am going to buy the Samsung S95F and peel it off. Now the thing is, I was thinking about it. I really want to have you do what you did, look, peel half of the screen off to make videos about it. I want to hammer on it. But on the other hand, if I want to show people this is easy to do if you do this method, I think it's gonna have a better impact, showing no struggle on removing it. So it is like, okay, this is a no-brainer. I'm gonna do it live. Actually, I would like to do a live stream that is as long as the process takes. Don't care, 6 hours long. So people can see it in real time. I would just start the process from the beginning,
It'd
wait
be like
all the time I
watching
have to
paint dry
wait.
on the wall though, Ariel.
Eh?
It'd be like watching paint dry on a wall. Cause I mean you just
Exactly. No, we just keep the
yeah, yeah.
conversation going. I
Sure,
mean,
sure. Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to join anyone wants to join, we keep the conversation going all day long. I just want people to see it in real time. And I want people to see that it is easy. With QD-OLEDs, this one, I'm actually not very confident on this IPS monitor. I don't know about that. By the way, does this have an anti-glare too?
Who makes it?
An anti-glare, no, does this have a polarizer?
It'll have a polarizer. Who makes it? Is it LG?
No, this is a Pixio IPS monitor. This is
but like if you look
1440p.
at the back, the actual companies, there's only a couple companies that make IPS. So if it's an LG IPS, it more likely is going to be water-based, and it'll be really easy to take off.
But so you're saying I can see that on the back of the monitor?
You'd have to take like, is it out of? I'm not familiar with that particular monitor. Does it have a back with plastic and stuff?
Yeah, just a plastic back.
Yeah, one would have to actually take it off and all that. Don't bother. I mean, the actual stamp in the back saying manufactured by LG and all that stuff would be in the actual behind the panel
Let me see if I
itself.
can read it.
No, it won't. It won't tell you on the back there.
No,
No,
it doesn't say anything.
no. Because even on my Apple Cinema display, when I took it apart, it's actually an LG IPS panel in there.
So very, very likely this will have the polarizer, and it's very, very risky to do it on this one, right?
Yeah, like
we're gonna mess that up. It's
9 out of 10 as far as 9 out of 10 as far as difficulty, as far as potentially ruining it. Yeah, absolutely. It's I will say this: I've done 3 QD-OLEDs now, 3 of them. And the last one, the G80, I did the paper towel method, and I was able to pull it all off with one piece. Okay. So, but I would say the difficulty level for a QD-OLED is like, as far as risk wise, as far as damaging it, is like maybe like a 1 out of 10. But what you're doing right now is like a 9 out of 10. If you were doing a VA panel, you're a 10 out of 10. You're going to break it. You're not going to get it off, right? And then
so wait. So you're saying the possibility of this operation to be successful right now is 1 in 10?
No, I think yours is you're like no. Well, I see what you did there. I'm saying that like at a difficulty level as far as potentially damaging the polarizer, what you're doing with an IPS, because I don't know if it's an LG one or not, because LG generally uses water-based for their anti-glares for their IPS. If it's not, I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
So you're saying that there is a possibility that this anti-glare coating is not water-based, so it's not going to come out.
If it's not LG IPS, it's possible it may not be. LG, every single LG IPS I've ever done has all been water-based, and they just peel right off. So maybe those that are listening may know this monitor that I did. I don't think anybody else has ever done it to this monitor. So there was a 4K Asus monitor, 27-inch, and I believe it went up to 144 hertz. It was the first 4K.
Well, let's do this before I do it. Let's do this. I'm gonna copy here.
Oh, I
I'm
sent
gonna
you
post a comment
photos
here
I
with
did
the
send you.
exact model of this monitor, and I want to, if someone can do a search to see if this has an LG panel or not. Let me see. This is a Pixio PX 275H. I'm gonna post that in the chat. See if someone can ask Chat GPT or just Google that. There's a Pixio PH. No, wait, I forgot. Pixio 27 PX 275H. Pixio PX 275H. So let me know if this is an LG IPS or otherwise. Let me know if you can ask Chat GPT or do a quick search. That would be good. So we don't ruin it for no reason. This is very dangerous. What I'm gonna do today, again, this is like up there with the highest risk. So the reason why I want to do this live is because if it doesn't work and I completely destroy the monitor, I want you to see it, okay? Because I'm not, look, I want this to work because of course I don't want to break the monitor and because I much rather have a glossy screen. But I have no, how can I say? Like if it doesn't work, I want you to know. I don't want you to ruin your monitor too. So I'm gonna take the bullet. And that's okay. I am okay with breaking it because it's going to serve a purpose. It's not going to be for no reason. Like if I break the monitor, at least you know, okay, well, we have to be very careful when we do these LCD based monitors because we can definitely break it. So let me know. Yep, it's made by LG. ChatGPT apologize. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Oh, look, this IPS monitor was made by LG.
Yeah, so you should be fine.
So then is that safe then?
It should be, yeah. So the monitor I did it was an Asus PG27. So I think that was like the first like 27-inch 4K 144 hertz, I think is what it went up to. Had a G-Sync module in it. I think that monitor was like, if I remember right, I feel like that was like 2,500 or 3,000 when it came out. But anyway, I took it apart and it had an LG IPS in it, and the wet paper towel trick actually only took 4 hours, and it just peeled off like nothing. It was crazy, all one piece. I think I sent you photos of the actual piece I was holding up of the entire anti-glare, the whole thing, when I took it
Oh
off.
wait, look. Someone here is saying that this one isn't. It says Innolux, not LG. Is that another manufacturer or
Yeah, yeah, it is.
it is?
Mhm.
So then what about that one? Do you know about that one?
Wait, is the Innolux? What other display specifications say Innolux? Is it what kind of is it supposed to be like an IPS or a variant of it?
Yeah, this one is an IPS. It's a 95 hertz 1440p
Mhm.
monitor.
Okay.
So if it is not an LG,
It's a
we're
gamble.
gonna break it.
No, it's a gamble. It
It's
could
a
go
gamble
either
then.
way.
Okay.
How long has it been on there for the
So
web
it has
paper?
been here. I started at 12. I finished. It is wet to the touch. I get my hands wet, and it's wet. It's not water. All.
No,
I
no,
mean,
but
it's
it's like it's
perfectly
wet.
good. I would say.
You feel the wetness when you touch it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's super wet. Yeah.
So it's
So
on there for almost 8 hours.
I started at
Or
12, and right now
okay.
it is 6:48. So it's been almost 7 hours.
Mhm. Yeah, it's more than enough time for it right now.
So should we try it already? Oh wait, and
I
also let
mean,
me tell you this: I was not gonna buy the still water. It's just regular water. Is
yeah.
that a deal breaker?
I mean, no. I mean, I would.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it like that. For the S95F, I will get the distilled water and all.
Yeah, I would recommend for your large TV to use distilled water if you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so
it
should
should be
we
fine.
try it already?
Yeah, I think. Can you
Okay.
zoom in and
Yeah,
like
let me
full
get
screen it
myself
for
out of the
us?
way.
Hmm.
And I get myself out of the way.
Yeah,
Let
you
me
can move
make
me
you
too, so you can just full
smaller
screen it so
maybe,
I can
or
see it
try
better.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me zoom in. Time time has come. Let's do it.
So top corners are usually the way to go.
Tap water.
top corners. One of the top corners.
Oh, top corners. Yeah. So I'm gonna try. Let me see if I can get this. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna try this because it looks better on camera. This part.
Yeah.
So now, what should I do? Just remove the whole thing and then start trying, or should I keep everything and then start trying?
Oh, so just pull back a little bit in that corner there, okay?
Just a little bit. Pull
Yeah,
this.
just a little bit in the corner. You know, maybe like 2 inches back. Pull the paper towel back,
And then should I see already? So if this was going to work, should I see already the matte coating would start already to peel? Like, would it be
No.
soft
No, you're
already?
going to
Should I see that?
no.
Or should it look like if nothing,
No,
like the same as before?
it's just gonna be normal. So just pull it back, and then I would try to use your fingertip first. Just try it. You'll feel it. You'll feel the difference.
Okay. Okay, so I'll try start using my nails then. So let's see how it looks. It looks exactly the same
Yeah.
as before. And I don't see any
Take it in the corner. Put your fingernails in between the corner there, the
like
actual
that.
corner,
But
and
I
lift
think,
up and
look,
lift
I
up.
think there's like a thick the panel itself, there's a plastic behind. The panel itself is moving. Like it is not perfectly fit. Like when I'm doing pressure, the panel itself is moving inside the plastic case.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Is that normal? So also it looks very thick, but the layer I want to remove is actually very
the
thin.
anti-glare could be very thick. How bad? Like, is this really aggressive anti-glare that's on there?
Oh yeah, it's very, very aggressive.
Okay, so it could be it could be pretty thick.
The thing is, I don't see any, and I have long nails. I don't see any signs of this starting to peel at all. And I'm doing this with my nail. I don't see any. Like I see no chance, basically.
Check the other corner.
Check the other corner, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Try this.
I mean, you're pulling up, right? Like you're trying to grab it. Like, so the thing is
so
this.
if I grab it,
Yeah.
because it moves.
Yeah.
It moves a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, let me see this. No, I thought I saw something, but no. I don't see any.
So get the razor blade, and you try
So now, let me ask
feel
you,
it.
the razor blade.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want to do with what is the razor blade? So what I don't want to do with the razor blade is go deeper and rip off the screen itself, because the screen itself is moving inside that plastic
Yeah,
case.
no, think of it this way. Think of like a thin piece of paper is on there, right? That's the anti-glare. And all you're trying to do is just grab it. So you got to like separate it. But once you separate it, because the paper towel is just going to lift right on off.
Yeah. Yeah, things to get that beginning started, but I don't see.
Yeah, if you're not seeing it, then this can't be done. I mean, that's just really what it comes down to, because it should be
Like
very
it
obvious.
looks like exactly the same.
Mm.
I know I can definitely damage it with a razor blade, but I don't see anything. You get what I'm saying? Like I see no chance. Like I'm doing this with my nail, and I don't see anything.
You should
happening.
see something. You should see that there's clearly an anti-glare there, and you can clearly feel it. There'd be a difference between and the anti-glare.
Like,
and this
you're
is,
saying
you
I
know,
should feel a difference, like a separation between the
you should
anti-glare and
be
the
able
screen?
to take your fingernail and like think of it like this. Think of it as like a sandwich, and the top piece of the bread is the anti-glare. You should be able to feel that between that and the panel when you take your fingernail and you put it over there in the corner and you're feeling it and pulling it up. If you don't feel it and it's not pulling
No,
up, then it can't be done.
I don't feel anything really.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me try a little bit better. Try from this angle. The thing is, I don't see any separation at all. Like,
Separation, it's this is the thing. You if one were to keep pushing it and keep taking a razor to it or something like that, you either run the risk of cutting yourself or damaging the monitor or the TV. If it's not something that's clearly separating, because at this point it's been on there for 7 hours, so when you take your fingernail and you're feeling and pulling it up, you should feel that there's a difference. And
no,
if you don't feel it and you can't, no matter, so like if you're coming Ariel in that corner from the side and angle it in the same parallel to the panel and
let
go
me get it
in on the
close to the
side of
camera
it.
so you can see it. Let's see if you can see this. Okay, let me get these. Okay, I'll get these very close to the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here.
Yeah, let me I'm trying to focus
If
in
I
on
can.
this. Oh, yep. Hold on. Okay. And just stay there.
So like there's no.
Hold on. Can you just sit still for a second there, the panel, so I can see it? Yeah, I mean, I
Wait, let
see
me.
it. I So you can see the border of the panel itself underneath it.
So
But
what I
this
feel is like the panel feels completely solid. Like I don't see layers at all. I don't feel any layer.
you should feel a layer there, and if you can't feel a layer there, then this can't be done. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's just that's just how it goes. That you should absolutely feel it.
The thing is, again, it looks like the whole panel is made out of like a single thick matte thing. It doesn't. I don't feel anything. It looks exactly the same as before. And again, I have long fingernails because I play the guitar. Look, I have long.
Yeah.
This is for my guitar playing, so I am definitely touching the corner of it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're coming to the side parallel to the panel, and you're trying, you take your fingernail and you just keep pushing it in there on the side. Like I didn't use a razor blade. I used do you all know like when you do like a one blade for shaving, like those really thin ones?
So I'm gonna do this. I'm going to take this off completely, and I'm gonna show you how it looks.
Yeah.
That should tell something, right? Like if you do this, let me ask you, if you do this on a monitor,
Mm-hmm.
if that glue is water soluble and this method worked, we should see something. It should not
Oh
look
yeah, no,
exactly the
yeah,
same, right?
yeah, no, it would literally just peel. What you were doing with your fingernail, you'd have already grabbed it and peeled it off. So that tells me this is probably not a water-based adhesive
Okay.
that we used on here. So.
Well, I'm gonna show. I'm gonna take this off. Let's show you how this looks. It's like very. I think I did this great. Look.
Yeah,
This
no, it's
looks.
good. Yeah.
It looks like cloth of how wet it is, and I did like a perfect. 4 or 5 layers of this thing, and it was perfect. I tried very, very meticulously to do this, and it's very, very wet. Like if I squeeze this, it's gonna pour water.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very wet. Let me show you. Let me see how it looks.
Yeah.
Let me show you that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So it looks wet, but I don't see any difference whatsoever before I did this. Let me move it with the light so you see.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like it looks perfect. Like there's no, like nothing happened. Like I'm going to get a dry toilet paper or paper towel to get this dry, and you'll see that it looks exactly like nothing happened here.
All right.
At least
I can see the
wet,
chat now.
those wet paper towels didn't do anything to it. It looks
Yeah,
exactly the
then
same.
it's not water. Then it's not water-based. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing happened here. Let me get I'm gonna pop you in so you can read the chat, and I'm gonna get a dry. I'm gonna get a dry. Get this. Okay, I'm gonna have you in. I get myself out. Okay, well that works. So you can answer any comments in the chat. Let me go for a dry paper towel or toilet paper.
Yeah, let me look at the chat. I'll just start back here at the beginning.
Oh, I cannot see you anymore. What happened?
Oh, every time I bring up YouTube to read the chat, can you share the chat in the StreamYard?
Oh, let me. No, actually not. Well, yes, you can see the
No?
chat on StreamYard. Just go to comments. You don't have to open YouTube. You go to comments on StreamYard, and you can see the chat.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's working.
So we should call Samsung customer service. When I was expecting, this was not the result I was expecting. I either break it on it work or it works amazing. I was not expecting to nothing happened. So yeah, kind of disappointing. Let me go for a dry paper, and I'll be right back. Did you figure out the chat, Luke?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Just go to the right side where it says comment, or at the bottom.
Yep.
And you'll see the.
And then comments.
You got it?
Okay, I got you now. I got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll be right back.
So let's go. It only goes back to 8 p.m. on here. Okay. Broken tear. Yesterday I took it off without using wet paper towel method, just fingernails. Broken tear. Did you off in one piece? Curious to hear what happened there. Miguel, you're saying you didn't put enough water on there. Definitely there was enough water on there. When you saw him take it off, there's quite a bit of water on the screen itself, so that definitely was more than enough. Yeah. agree. Phoenix, it's definitely fused together. You can't remove it. But see, that's the thing. Like when you're doing this, and regardless of whatever display you're trying to do this on, if you do it, and honestly, doing stuff like this is going to be like your junk monitor you have sitting around that you don't care or whatever when you're trying to do something like this to a monitor. Wouldn't recommend.
Okay, so I'm gonna show. Let me pop this bigger on screen. I'm gonna show when I dry this off. So you see that there's no difference at all. Like it looks nothing what got separated on this one. I'm gonna do this to show this better. Move. Okay. I mean, this monitor, the coating feels so thick that I can clean this without any care at all. It's not gonna get damaged.
Yeah, it definitely is like a thick anti-glare for sure.
Well, actually, let me tell you. Wait. Yeah, it's no difference at all.
Yeah, Bear one. I mean, yeah, he could use a blade to do the corner that separates. And I've done Dell monitors too, but again, those Dell monitors had
Yeah.
water-based adhesive for that anti-glare. This one clearly doesn't, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't see any. Like, I mean, right now, it just looks like nothing happened here. Absolutely nothing happened. Look.
Yeah.
It's just the same disgusting, super thick anti-glare.
Yeah, it would have looked a lot nicer with it off, probably. But
No, absolutely. So yeah.
here, I agree. I think the anti-glare that's on the monitor is not nearly as on the TV. I agree. I mean, definitely
So that's the
for an
reflective property.
anti-glare, for the anti-glare that they put on the 95D and the 95F, it's definitely for an anti-glare like matte. It's definitely the nicest one I've ever seen. I still can't stand them, but I mean, it's definitely way better than the monitor, the G80 and the G60. It's way nicer.
Well, this was not the worst outcome. The worst would have been we just break it. But I was expecting a decision. So we got a no decision on this one. I was expecting to be able to remove it, man. I was excited about it. This is what I was looking for. This is what I wanted. So it got wet. Look at this. It's glossy. So you can see myself there very clearly. This is what I wanted. This laptop has an LCD screen. It looks super glossy. It's a perfect mirror. The screen is touchable too. And this one, this laptop too.
You could do it you could do the display guy way and just polish it.
Yeah, I guess that's the only way to remaining. But that way is more difficult.
So huge vibes. They're saying it's not a different coating. It's the same. Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, so let me.
Bad done well. I get that reference. I was a kid watching that on TV when that happened. That was such a disappointment. Al Capone's body wasn't there. That's too funny.
Let me read some of the comments before I miss. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Take the bezel out. Yeah, what I was feeling is with this one, again, the panel itself was moving inside the frame, the plastic frame. So when I go to peel off the corner, it was difficult because it was pushing in. But the thing is, nothing was happening. Like I was just doing with my nail, nothing was happening. And as you can see it now, the monitor just looks clean. But look, when you've done this in monitors that have that water soluble thing, when you remove the paper towel, the wet paper towels, you should see it's not, so there's no going back, right? It's my question. Like if this was to work, after you remove the paper towel, you just have to take it off because it's just gonna look
No,
uh
no, no. It'll look wet like what you just showed just now. And in every single one I've ever had to do, I had to use a razor blade to lift up that anti-glare to grab it because I couldn't get it with my fingernail. I never have been able to do that with
but I mean if I try
my
that with this razor blade, I'm just gonna break it because
that's not you can't use a razor blade like that. I'm talking like a shaving razor blade. Like it's so crazy thin. It's hard to describe. Somebody in the
oh, I
chat
see what you're
understands probably
saying.
what I'm talking about. It's like,
But
you for
but
raising,
you're
like
saying I should be
it's
able to
a one
see,
blader. It's a one blader.
but you're saying I should be able to see some signs of these having an
Yeah,
effect, and I just don't
Julius.
see it.
Yeah, it's a straight razor. That's what I mean. Thank you. It's super thin. You can like Walmart, like pack of 10. You know what I mean? Like in the razor section box. I think you can get them like they're made in Germany, the nice ones, and they're like stupid thin. And yeah, you can like that's how I lift it up. Just gently go to the corner there and you put it in and you just lift it up because the fingernail isn't gonna get it. The fingernail can't get it.
Well,
That's
then I
right,
didn't
Bear
have the
Force
tool
One.
then. So
It's too thin.
so you're thinking there might still be a chance that this will work?
It's possible, but you definitely need like a straight edge razor to do it. And I gotta warn you, while you're holding that straight edge razor, you could definitely get yourself cut. Just FYI.
You got yourself cut?
So I've redone a lot of things in cars with Alcantara, and I use that same straight edge to cut and trim and do things, and I've cut myself many times doing that, not removing anti-glare, but doing Alcantara reupholstery on cars.
Yeah, the thing
But
is,
it's my favorite tool.
maybe if we disassemble the from the frame, maybe that gets exposed and then that's easier to. But the thing is, if it is not possible, I'm just gonna break it. Like what I see after so many, I mean, 7 hours with the wet paper towels, is that nothing happened here. Like I don't see any signs of this being possible at all. And I have my long nails and they are hard.
Yeah.
Uh, with this,
Benny's saying, the paper towel. So the paper towel method isn't necessary on a 95F or 95D. You can just pull it off, just dry. It's just that the paper towel just makes it easier. Um, that's really all it does. You can't damage it. You're not going to damage it. I think I've had about 15, 20 people message me saying that they've done it now on the 95D, the F. A couple people have taken it off the 90Ds already, which is a semi-glossy. So you can definitely do it. I haven't had a single person message me saying they broke it.
yeah, the
So
thing is with the QD-OLED, it seems like unless you drop the TV, it is hard to not be able to do it. Because if it comes out dry, imagine if you just use the paper towel, it would just be a lot easier. That's why I want to
I think you'd
show
have a
that
hard,
live. If it works, I want to show it
yeah,
live so people can see that
yeah.
what it takes. And it's not that long with those, right? It's like 4 hours, you said, with the wet towels.
Yeah, Benny, you can't mess it up. Be honest with you, you can't. You definitely, I recommend wearing a mask, and N95 even probably be decent. I think FOMO, like said, much more powerful for a mask, so I don't know. You'd have to research that. It definitely gives off an off gassing when you're removing it. Um, and it's not a pleasant smell. The TV itself doesn't smell when you take it off, but the anti-glare's got a stench to it. And then I had some people say to me, well, if the anti-glare has a smell to it, if you take it off, does that mean while it's on the TV that it's giving off that smell as it's on? And that's a great question because I think the TV does have a smell to it if it doesn't have it off and you're running it for a while. If you get real close to it, it's got a smell to it. Now it doesn't have a smell because the anti-glare is gone. The anti-glare itself has a very disgusting smell to it. It's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, especially when the panel warms up, right? Like if it's
Yeah.
hot. Yeah, man.
On the
Well, that's
95s,
disappointing, man. I was
90s, you
so
should
I
not be
didn't
using a
know I had
knife.
to have that kind of tool to do it. But let me. So one thing doesn't make sense to me. Look,
What?
if the water it doesn't come in through this matte coating, then what difference it makes? Maybe only in the corners. Because if I have to use the razor blade to start this process, it's because the water didn't do anything or little to nothing. Because if the glue underneath is water soluble and the water was coming through, then I should see this already looking different. That's what makes sense. Sometimes we don't see what's going on and then it actually works. But it just seems weird to me that the paper towel being wet gets the glue, changes the glue in between, and then you see nothing. Like you see no difference at all. You see what I'm saying? Oh wait, you're not on stage. Oh yeah.
No,
You hear
I'm
me?
here. I took myself off Wi-Fi because I got my TV going on Wi-Fi and the phone. I think it's what's causing the breakups. So I'm off Wi-Fi. So let me know if I'm still breaking up. I don't know.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. So
Um,
you see my point. Look, what I'm saying is, if the wet paper towels are getting the glue softer, we should see something, right? Like it shouldn't look exactly like. I mean, like right now this looks like clean, but nothing. It looks like nothing happened here.
um, that tells me it probably isn't water-based because when it's water-based, it does have a little bit different look to it, you know, because the adhesive is losing adhesion, so it does have a different look to it. If you were to take the wet paper towels off a water-based anti-glare and you see that you could peel it up and you're like, you know what, I don't want to do this, let it dry and it's fine. But so there isn't like, you know, it isn't like a no turning back kind of thing with it. The only no turning back with an LCD when you're pulling it off is once you start to pull it off, it's over. It's got to come
Yeah.
off.
But you see my question. Look, what I'm saying is, even with the QD-OLED,
Mm-hmm.
if the water goes through the anti-glare, then right after you remove the paper towels, you should see. And I mean, you should definitely see that anti-glare already soft and all that. And if you don't, then that means that the water doesn't come through the anti-glare. Maybe it's just for the corner.
So when taking it off the QD-OLED, there was no water on the panel under the anti-glare.
There was no
When you
water.
No, when you're doing it on an LCD, you know, I've done it on some LCDs where the anti-glare is so thin that when I took it and peeled it up, there was water on the screen itself. So there are some anti-glares where the water will seep through it, and then there's others that won't. The QD OLEDs, it won't. It won't matter if you kept it on there for 8 or 9 hours on a QD OLED. It's not going to peel off like a wet paper towel. There is going to still be some stickiness to it. It's not. It helps with a paper towel method, and I feel like this is the reason why, like, when I brought that up to people to do that and showed you how to do it, it makes it easier. But for these QD-OLEDs, you could just pull it off. You really can. And as far as like when somebody's asking me, does the smell linger after you remove the anti-glare? As long as you take that anti-glare and you get it out of your house ASAP, if you're doing it in the house, I'd recommend it, you know, in an open ventilated area. No, the smell does not linger. The smell lingers with the anti-glare itself. Trust me, it's crazy. It
Well,
smells awful.
well, let me ask you then, if this glue is water soluble, why can't we just start peeling it off and then go with a water spray and start spraying water in between the anti-glare and the screen? If it's going to dissolve the
Oh, you mean on a QD-OLED?
yeah.
So spraying distilled water in between it, so like a lubricant.
Yeah, I mean, like instead of struggling to pull it out,
Yeah,
why
that probably
don't
would
you just
work.
start peeling and then water, water, water?
Yeah, that probably work. I mean, so I think, you know, Ariel, when you get yours, you know, you could try it a couple of different ways, right? I mean, you could do half of it with a paper towel. You could do the other half with nothing at all and pull it up and then start spraying it, you know, in between the panel and the anti-glare when you're peeling up in the corner. Because all of the TVs I've noticed the first maybe 4 inches in the corner up there at the tops, not a problem, easy to pull off. Then it starts to get a little bit more difficult to pull, and then if you don't pull it the right way, it'll s- tear, and then you'll end up starting to taking off on pieces. Um, so I think you could try it a couple of different ways and see
Yeah,
which
but the
way
thing is,
is the
what I'm
easiest.
looking for is to show a way that's like very easy. So when people see it, they are not like, oh man, this is so complicated. I'm not gonna do that. See, I want to be able to just do it so easy that people are like, okay, wait a minute, that's a piece of cake. I mean, like a kid, little kid could do that. You see what I'm saying? Like if there
Yeah.
was a way to like I see myself, that would be easy. If it works, just you just get started with you get a one of those gloves, like the nitrile gloves, right? The rubber
Mhm.
gloves to start in the corner. Then once it gets started, just water, 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 water. And if that works to make it soft, that would be great.
I think it would work.
It's not so the water is not gonna come into the TV, right? Because it's a
No,
glass.
no,
That might work.
yeah.
So
What's
yeah,
interesting is when you're peeling it off, there is no adhesive on the panel itself. It's weird.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tried, but it didn't work. Or maybe I need to get the razor blade to get it started. But the thing is, we asked people to search if this IPS monitor was an LG, and they said no. It was like a weird Inno something. I forgot the name of the panel. So Luke was saying that if it was an LG IPS, most likely the coating was glue with a water soluble
Mm-hmm.
glue,
Yep.
but it's not an LG. So I
Yeah.
didn't see any signs of the anti glare coming out of this monitor, and it is very thick. I mean, after I removed the wet paper towels, it looks like nothing happened here. It just looks like a clean monitor, like no difference whatsoever. Like I don't see any signs of that working at all. And I tried with my nails very hard. Nothing happened. I mean, it doesn't even. I see no layers. It's like a solid screen. Yeah, Inno looks. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like it's not gonna work on this one. But I mean, this monitor is trash anyway. The picture quality is not gonna be great. It doesn't really matter that much. It would be better if it was glossy. I mean, this laptop I was showing, the picture quality is trash too. But with a glossy, it looks a lot better. But yeah, this is not the monitor I'm going to be using for gaming, having the QD-OLED. But I wanted to try it to show if this works with an IPS monitor. So Luke has done it before with LG panels with a razor blade to get started.
Yep.
But yeah, this one didn't work, and I didn't have the razor blade. I thought this was gonna be enough. I don't have a razor blade. This is not like I tried a little bit on the corner, but I didn't want to go hard because. So what happened is I would go deep inside the panel and break it because I don't see like that thin layer of anti-glare. I don't see it. Like I'm trying to scratch the corner and nothing's happening. Literally nothing happened. So Ben is the one who sent me the 5090. Thank you very much. So he's saying, I think my air purifier has a carbon filter and plasma wave, so it will get rid of the fumes. Yeah, I do have an air filter, but I was thinking I'm not gonna take the S95F down the basement to peel it off because I don't want that nasty smell. And I'm not concerned about health. Like some people, I mean, rightfully so. Some people might think, oh, well, is that like, dangerous to your health? Yeah, probably smelling something that smells bad. I mean, that's our brain telling us this is not good.
Think of this way: if we're removing it and it's got a smell to it, that off gassing from that it is happening while the TV's on.
Yeah.
You know, like have you ever got a TV and it smells new? Like it has a smell to it.
Yeah. But what I think is just a bad smell. Like you're not gonna go to the hospital by smelling that or getting a cancer or something like that. I don't think so.
No.
But still, I don't want that smell inside the basement because to get rid of it, it takes more. I do have 2 air purifiers. So what I'm gonna do is I will do it, upstairs and with the doors open, or maybe I will take it outside to do it.
And use gloves. Use gloves if you can. Use some nitrile gloves, because when you're pulling up on it and stuff, you're going to get that adhesive on your hands, and it's tough to get that smell off your hands for a while washing it. So I'd use gloves.
Really? So you clean it, you clean your hands and still it wouldn't come off?
It took, I had to wash a couple of times. I think Broken Tear said the same thing. So like I would use nitrile gloves.
Okay.
And a mask too. It doesn't hurt. Wear a mask.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that dangerous.
It's not dangerous. It's just like if you got a 77-inch and if you're like FOMO, I think at a 55, but if you're spending 3-4 hours doing this, that's a lot of time smelling it in. It's not pleasant for 4 hours straight.
Yeah, especially on a closed basement. You thought about trying those AR glasses you plug into your PC or handheld, and it gives you 100-inch and 200-inch display. Yeah, it sounds good.
You could remove it from half your 90D. You could do half on, half off with the semi-gloss.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want to keep my S90D as a comparison. So I want to show, after I remove the anti-glare on the S95F, I want to show the difference between that and my S90D.
Okay.
I want to normalize the brightness and show to see if there's a difference. Like, is there a benefit, basically? If I compare my S90D glossy with the S95F without the anti-glare, and I see a benefit somehow of the S90D, maybe, I don't know, less glow or something, I wanna show that difference. So for those people who have already a glossy QD-OLED TV, for those people to consider, okay, well, no, I'm not gonna do it, or yes, I will do it because it's just better. So that's why I don't want to do it with my S90D. Yeah, well, maybe wear a mask.
Yeah, please
while
do.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. I already washed my hands at least 10 times.
Yeah. Okay. Well, man, this didn't work. Let's read some of the comments before we finish, and hopefully we can get that. By the way, I have to say, I was blown away with the S95 F at the store. That thing is ridiculously bright. And some people were asking me, well, how about the rest of the TVs? Like, if the S95F brightness was nerfed, but was lower, maybe the other TVs are also lower.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them. They said, no, that's all default. The only one they lower was the S95F. Someone else also said that he worked at Best Buy, and the TVs, the settings, they reset after a couple of minutes. And I experienced that myself when I was doing the LG C3 video. I got a remote in my hands, and I was changing the settings. And after the demo finishes, I had to go again and change the settings again. Like, it was resetting the settings constantly and forcing that retail mode with all the specific vivid mode settings.
Mm-hmm.
That was not happening with the S95F because I was there recording for 33 minutes and the TV didn't change. So I don't know why or what's going on there. They lowered the brightness of the S95F because it was making the rest of the TVs look bad in comparison. And let me tell you, it was that big of a difference. It's just absolutely insane how bright that TV is. Incredible. I was blown away. I was not expecting that. I was definitely not expecting it to be so close. When I saw it with the brightness lower down to 30, it was still brighter, but I was like, man, this is not a big difference. I would be disappointed if that's the difference. But I knew there was something that I was wrong about it. So yeah, when I max out the brightness, my God, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's super bright.
I cannot wait to take that home, babe. It's gonna be fantastic. Hopefully, we don't have any issues with the One Connect box and screen uniformity and all of that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy one, 100%.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues thus far. I'm trying to break in the 55, so D Nice is going to come and calibrate my 295Ds. They both have the anti-glare removed, so we'll find out, you know, how bad it is and if it can be calibrated or not. So we'll find out. And then he's going to calibrate my Pioneer Pro 141 plasma that I've always wanted to get done by him. And then he's going to do my Sony living room TV too, the Z8H. So looking for that. I don't know if anybody knows about D-Nice. Just like Classy, they're calibrators. Is Classy ISF calibrate an ISF calibrator too? I don't
Yeah,
know.
most likely. Yeah.
Is he? Yeah. So yeah, they're both amazing calibrators. They're on the East Coast, and D-Nice has been doing the plasmas for a very long time, knows a lot about the Kurus, and just looking forward to him coming and getting that plasma. Because I mean, as much as I love these 95Ds, and the G5 looks amazing, the Mark II looks amazing. I'm sure the Z9B by Panasonic will be amazing. But there's something super special about a plasma, man. For me, like I still enjoy um 60 hertz content SDR. I know a lot of people moved on and they're now into like HDR and stuff, and I do enjoy HDR as well, but there's something special to like, watch an F1 race on a plasma, and it kind of feels like you're there because the motion clarity is so much better than any of these panels that we have now at 60 hertz. And there's just something really special about those last gen Kuru panels. So I'm looking forward to him coming. He's going to do game mode because that's the most important for me. And then I don't know if he's going to do pure mode or he'll do maybe an ISF day and night for me. I had already gone into the service menu and changed the ABL settings to like 200, I think is what it was. And then I lowered the black level. But obviously he's Yoda when it comes to the
Yeah, I mean,
Kurus. So he's a guru for Kuru. And so like I'm sure he's gonna make it look amazing because game mode on those elites, like they don't look too great from the outset. You got to do a lot to get them looking as good as like the pure mode. So I'm looking forward to him doing that. And I'll be honest with you all, as much as I'd probably game on the 7795D, and I'm going to use the 55D for more for the computer monitor stuff. I'm going to give the 32 to my brother because he's got an older panel he's using, so I'm going to give it to him. He won't care about the gloss or not. He probably won't even notice. But I probably would game on the Elite Aerial, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, 60 FPS looks great on the
It looks
plasma. I'm sure
bonkers on
D9 is
there.
gonna get it as good as it can be. My
Yeah.
concern with calibrating the plasma is that the white balance changes depending on the screen size. Like
Mhm.
the ABL, it's a problem for the like if you have a small window size, it looks more blue than if you have a bigger window size. So the bigger the window size, the it gets warmer. At least that's on my panel. Maybe because it's too old and that affects that. So maybe that's not a problem with yours because it's newer. Then the other concern I would have is that you don't have many calibration controls. I don't know how he would
Oh,
be
he
able
goes.
to.
He doesn't use. Yeah, he doesn't use just the user menu stuff.
Yeah, on the service menu. Okay.
No,
Well, let me
he
know how
goes
that
in and does
goes.
those.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, he's gonna do all other stuff. I mean, I think Garrett. So like the OLEDs are a lot brighter. LEDs are much brighter, but for 60 hertz content, the motion persistence on an OLED or an LED, what is it, like 300
Oh, plasma is like 4
MPRT?
times better
Yeah, so
at
it's like
60.
so for 60 hertz content, it'd be like me. Why? Just to give you all an idea, for anybody who has a 240 hertz OLED monitor, it would be like you playing a game at 240 frames per second on your QD-OLED, okay, 240 hertz, and I'm playing an Xbox or PlayStation 5 game at 60 hertz on the OLED, and the motion persistence is about the same. I will say this: the OLED's got cleaner motion because it doesn't have phosphor decay, and it doesn't have the dithering effects of a plasma, but overall super close. So can you imagine and this is where I feel like everybody for like before pre-COVID and COVID, everybody was running after like CRTs for like, playing your Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Neo Geo and all that stuff, right? Well, I think a lot of people are missing out of how amazing the plasmas are for even current gen stuff, because if you're sending a Kuru 1080p from an Xbox Series X or a PS5, you're super sampling down from 4K to 1080p. Okay. And then on top of that, you're getting motion persistence equivalent to very close to 240 hertz OLED.
Yeah.
So,
So the thing is, the persistence is like 4 milliseconds, which is like 240.
yeah.
But the thing is, there are some gray to gray limitations or other, limitations other rather than persistence. So it doesn't look quite like 240 FPS
Right.
when you
Yeah.
move fast, but when you pan the camera slowly at 240 pixels per second, like if you're moving at 240 pixels per second, it looks exactly the same as the 240 hertz display. But the
Yeah.
thing is, the higher frame rate is going to give you a completely different experience because the input lag is going to be a lot lower because
Yeah.
the render
Sure.
latency is also
Yeah.
going to be a lot faster. So it's a
Yeah.
different experience. So don't.
Sure.
So I don't want people to be like, "Wow, why would anyone get anything that's not a plasma? If it looks like 240, you only need 60 FPS." It's a different experience. You don't get the
Yeah.
input lag, but it does look significantly better in motion than 60 FPS on
Well,
a
think of it
sample.
this way: like a lot of fighting games, Ariel, none of them go over 60. Other than one, Samurai Showdown. So like if you're into fighting games like I am, it doesn't matter if I'm playing on a PC or not. I'm not getting more than 60 frames in that game. Can't.
Yeah.
So, that's where like playing Street Fighter 6 on the QD OLED and then the plasma, it's a night and day difference. And there's no way, no matter if I had a 5090 or anything, that I can make Street Fighter 6 look clearer on a QD OLED or an LED or anything.
Yeah,
So I
the
think
thing is, the CRT
that's the
would be better, but
difference.
then the screen size is not the
Yeah, that's
plasma
true.
screen size.
Yeah, the plasma's only 60-inch only. But yeah.
So I want to answer this from Ben. So the thing is, I believe the S95F and the S95D with the one connect box is still 40. It's not 48 gigabits per second.
It's 40.
But that's not a big problem because for 165 hertz on the S95F, we need DSC anyway, or HDMI 2.1. So you were gonna get DSC regardless. You cannot get uncompressed 165 4K, 12 bits. So we need DSC anyway. So I don't think that's a big problem. But I'm still concerned with the one connect box. Hopefully it doesn't have any.
Can you get 444 with DSC at 165?
Yeah, with DSC, yeah.
Okay.
Because with DSC you can get double, basically. So with DSC you can get 240 hertz, 4K 240.
With a 40 gig or a 48?
Yeah, with the 40.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because you double it basically. With DSC you can just double that. I mean, you can go to Meridio HDMI 2.1 bandwidth calculator, and you can get some those answers basically. Meridio HDMI 2.1 bandwidth calculator.
Connected to 75
So yeah, we have.
gig.
Let's do maybe 19 minutes more, so we get to 2 hours for the stream. If you want to stick.
Yeah, that's weird. So the one connector can do 65 gigs. So what is this? Is this a software limitation? Why do they have a limitation on there? I wonder.
Okay, I don't know that. I don't know why it's an issue. I don't really know. The thing is, man, Samsung, I get it. The one connect box it makes it clean, so you can have that TV that is a paper, like it's very thin. I get it. It looks good. But the thing is, in my opinion, when you do the highest, the most premium display, aesthetics are out the window. Like, I don't care. Make it bigger, add active cooling, okay? Add some fans in the back to make it brighter if you can, to have less ABL, make it more powerful. I don't care about aesthetics and all that stuff. So of course, they want to sell TVs, and people see the thin, perfectly thin TV, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. But I much rather them just get rid of it and make the TV a lot more power hungry. I want more power, and I want active cooling. Why not? I mean, some fans that could be very quiet. That could definitely make the TV brighter or have less ABL. And it shouldn't add too much to the cost. I mean, how much is the fan? $40? I mean, it's a very expensive TV already. So I would like them to add active cooling, even make the TV water cool. Would you pay $300 more for the TV if it was water cool? It was brighter.
Definitely. I mean, I think the Samsung. So that's the other difference between the G series and then the Samsungs. The G series actually have a heat sink in there. Okay. So I think Vincent's review of G5 shows that it gets rid of the image retention quicker than the 95F does. So, that's something else to keep in mind. I mean, I have not seen any image retention on the 95Ds that I'm using, and I'm maxing out the brightness when I do use it in the daytime. I haven't seen anything. But, it would be nice. I feel like Samsung's going like 80% of the way with these panels, and they're just kind of like holding back. They could definitely put heat sinks on them. They definitely could probably push them a lot harder than they are currently, quite frankly. And they should, at the very minimum, give people an option to get a glossy one too. It'd be nice.
Absolutely. More 5090 content will come. Yeah, I have tried everything with it. 8K is definitely possible, and it does look better, even with the 4K TV. With DLSS, it works very, very well. So 5090 can definitely do 8K. So if I had that 8K 120 TV from Samsung, I can definitely try it. I will ask Samsung. I got the contact.
Yeah, is that the Q900F or 990F?
Yes, FOMO is hooking me up with
Yeah,
some sponsors, some contacts. So I'm gonna ask for that 8K for review to
it's
check out the
amazing TV.
5090. But the thing is, that TV 8K 120 doesn't work for some reason.
Oh, what
So
is it broken to your 900F? Is it the 900F? Is the
no, there's
8K
like a
one?
sound bar. He's saying it's like a
Well, is it
sound bar.
900F? I don't recall.
Yeah, I forgot the model. You know, the 8K it's a
Yeah,
matte finish.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
the QN900F,
Mm-hmm.
the QN990F, or okay. So QN990F or QN900D. So the QN990F it has a matte finish, but it's supposed to be AK120. But the 120 is not working based on the review I saw from the display guy. So I mean that's the whole point of that TV. If that doesn't work well, and then you have to wait for a firmware update to save the day, that's not good at all. And it has a matte finish on top of that. So
Is
I
it
mean the whole point of
wireless? Is it
huh?
wireless, the One Connect box on that?
Yes, it's a wireless one connect box, which is even worse. So basically, the only way to use that TV for gaming effectively is there is a mini HDMI
HDMI.
port in the back.
Yeah.
So it's one. So you have one input to get it with low input lag. Um, so yeah, I want to try that with the 5090. So I will ask Samsung to send me that TV, see if we can get it for review. But it is sad because that TV being 8K, the whole point of 8K is to have more clarity, and then you put a matte finish on it. So like, what are we doing here? You want the clearest display, sharpest, and you put a matte finish on it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. That has to be gloss. But yeah, I want to try it. I want to try that with the 59. 59 can definitely do 8K in many games. And it looks amazing. I mean, I tried The Witcher 3 8K, and I was getting over 100 frames, max out. Pure 8K, no upscaling, nothing. The previous, before the update, The Witcher 3, it was just looking absolutely perfect. No shimmering, amazing. No anti-aliasing, nothing. It was just looking fantastic. But I will do more 5090 content. I will also try the Zorak demo. That was the one that Jensen um, showed, the one that he was hyping up about the ray tracing. Yeah, it's a matte finish. Yeah, also, I will ask Samsung to try some sound bars because I actually need I need better sound. So what happened? You lose your charge?
No, phone died.
Oh, the phone died. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting the S95F. I will do more 5090 content and whatever comes up. This discovery here by Luke has been disruptive for everyone because I think it completely changed my perspective. Just to know that I can actually remove the matte finish, and that's just such a big deal because S95D was amazing, but I was like, yeah, matte finish. I wouldn't even consider that, but the S95D is also, I mean, super bright. And if you get with a deal like Luke did, I mean, I would buy that today. If I get an S95D for $1,700, 77-inch, I mean, I would buy that right now.
Yeah, it's no brainer.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would love to jump to 77-inch. The bigger, the better. I cannot go down. After I saw 65-inch, I had a 55-inch S95C, and then I replaced it for the 65 S90D because after you see a bigger size, you cannot go down again. You just want it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Wait until we get like 88, 98-inch ones.
Oh yeah, man, It never ends. Well, you know what? I want to get 65 because I want to try the triple 65-inch setup. I have three 65-inch QD-OLEDs. I want to try that with my GPU. You do an NVIDIA surround, so it will be like a single display. I don't know how the games are gonna work like that because two 4K side by side, that's already 32:9 aspect ratio. So I don't know how that's gonna work.
Well, can you do
if it will work well.
1440p?
But yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Could you do 1440p on all three?
So I'm sorry, what did you say?
Could you do 1440p on all three?
So 1440p, but the thing is the aspect ratio. Yeah. So you can do a custom resolution and do it different. But the thing is, the amount of, like when you double the horizontal pixels, you get 32:9. So then if you have three, I don't know how the games are going to look like that. I'm sure they might work, but they might look too stretched, like a cat, like fish eye. They call that. So it might not look good. But I
A lot
want
of
to try.
guys, I've seen a lot of guys use, like, what do they call it? The Infinity setup, the three displays. I think you'll find that you're probably going to have to do some adjustments on the two screens on the left and the right side because it'll get that fisheye effect, right? You know, so I think you can adjust for some of that. There, you're going to go down a road, Ariel. You're going to have a lot of different stuff you can do there for sure.
I want to see how that looks like.
Intense.
I think it's gonna be crazy, especially for racing games. I mean, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
sense of
I like
speed.
a lot
Yeah.
when I try two displays. The bezel of these Samsung TVs is so thin. So what I did is I put one TV behind each other. So instead of having two bezels, I only had one of them because one TV was slightly behind the other. And then NVIDIA has settings to make it perfect. So they allow you to do this on the settings when you set up the NVIDIA surround. So you can line them up perfectly. And so it doesn't bother you. So the bezel doesn't bother you. And having three, the key of having three displays, because I would be happy with two, 21:9. That's perfect. It's so big. It was the entire room. But the problem is you have the bezel right in the middle. But if you have three TVs, now you have two bezels instead of one, but they are in the peripheral view instead.
The bezels are so small on these, though. It's like, and that 8K TV you're talking about, it like has no bezel.
Not really.
Yeah.
That would be me. I mean, three 8K TVs, who can run that? That would be insane.
Yeah. No, there's some chats. So first of all, somebody said the VT60 is a lot lower lag wise. I heard the ST30 has the lowest lag of any of the Panasonic plasmas. If you all check out Dream Room 64's channel on YouTube, he does a lot of input lag testing on multiple different plasmas from Pioneer and Panasonic. I think he said the ST30 was the lowest, but that's a great channel to check out. He does a lot of intricate input lag testing, which I find really fascinating with plasmas.
By the way, look, you can stream when we do these live streams with the link that I send you. You can live stream this on your channel too. At the same time.
Okay.
I don't know if you can already live stream in your channel, because YouTube, I think it has like an amount.
No, I'm in probation right now with YouTube. I can't really do much.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess there's limitations when you start doing that stuff.
Yeah, I think they don't let you do it at the beginning, but later on you could do it.
Yep.
But yeah, the ST60, people are telling me that is not the lowest input lag, but it's lower than the ZT60, and it doesn't have a polarizer. I think so. You get more raised blacks under lighting conditions, but it is brighter as a consequence than the ZT60. That's what I heard.
Yeah, the ZT60, that's the one glass panel on the front of it, right? There's like no bezel technically because it's just all glass all the way across. I think the ZT60 is running at different hertz. Is that it's not 600 hertz? It's like what is that?
Yeah, it's like a neoplasma or something like that. It has
Yeah,
better motion. It has better
yeah,
motion.
yeah.
I've been hunting for it, but it's difficult to find them. It's
I
difficult
think
to
it'd be a
find.
great one to have.
It's hard to find the those CD60, ST60.
Yeah.
But if you can find one, you definitely get one.
Well,
Even
it's
if you
so
have one
funny.
of these.
I guess Caleb, like, so I'm sure you all know who Caleb is. He was from Digital Trends. He started a new channel, and I guess it got shut down or something. I don't know what's going on with that really yet. But as I was looking on YouTube yesterday, there's a Caleb's got a thing called Caleb Loves Tech, and he has a short of him walking down the street and somebody took a Pro 141 Pioneer
Yeah,
plasma and just leaned it up against the telephone pole.
I saw it. I saw that short.
I'm like, oh, my heart was like,
Yeah,
oh,
maybe it didn't work. Maybe it was broken.
maybe not, but it's just like it's to me tech wise, having growing up back in that period of time and knowing how much those things were, and then if you do price adjustment on it, it's well over 10 grand with today's
Yeah, what
money.
I'm surprised is that he didn't pick it up.
Yeah. So here's the thing: the glass wasn't broken. The bezel looked mint. So it's like some of those boards go out on those panels, and they're easy to replace and they're cheap to replace.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love my plasma. I don't know about any of you all, but I still love plasma. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's the reason why I opened this YouTube channel. I wanted to let everyone know. My point was, okay, I bought this plasma for $25 because here in the US, people are giving them away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I bought the 3080. I didn't have the money to go the OLED already. The OLED was my goal. But I'm like, okay, let me get a different display other than this IPS monitor, which is what I have. Let me get something better and bigger to wait for the OLED. And I got the plasma, I was blown away. And I was so impressed actually that when I got the LG C1, I
Mm-hmm.
was underwhelmed with the colors coming
Mm.
from a plasma. And I showed that plasma was actually brighter full screen than the
Mm-hmm.
LG C1. And it was more colorful too.
Yeah. Yep.
So that for me, I mean, I was like $25. People need to know about this because if you can get this good of a TV for $25,
Hmm.
I mean, this just crazy. So that's why I opened this channel to show that. That was my first videos was about that. I was like, okay, I spent $25, got this TV, and I'm blown away. And it's great for gaming too.
Yeah, it's amazing for SDR, 1080p gaming. I did not know it's 3000 hertz for the VT60 and the ZT60. So the Kuros are 600 hertz. So that's like, what is that? Is that 5 times more?
Yeah, 5 times more.
So
Yeah.
it's been so long, huge vibe, since I've seen in person a VT or ZT60. My memory, from what I remember, it was brighter than a Kuru, and it had better motion persistence than the
So
Kuru.
I think I think I asked the chief one time about that. Those are called neo plasmas, something like
Yeah,
that, the panel.
Neo PDPs, I think they called it, or something like that.
And if I remember correctly, don't quote me on that, but I think he told me that there were 2 milliseconds of persistence instead of 4.
Oh, so
So
it's half.
they look more clear.
Wow.
So I've been hunting for them, but it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
I would like to test it because the thing is, back in the day, all the reviews they didn't know about the blur busters law. So when
Yeah.
you see a reviewer talking about motion resolution and using that old benchmark,
Mm-hmm.
they are going to tell you that the plasma has 1080 lines of motion resolution or something like that. And the reason is the benchmark that they are using is moving at 240 pixels per second. So it looks like perfect because it has 1 pixel of motion blur. But that is not the best way to explain motion clarity. So they don't know the blur busters law, basically. So right now, having the UFO test, you get that plasma, just open the UFO test, and you change the speed of the test to 480 pixels per second, and you should see on that plasma, if it has 2 milliseconds of persistence, you should see the alien eyes should be perfectly clear, no blur. And if it has 4 milliseconds of persistence and 4 pixels of motion blur when moving at 1000 pixels per second, then the alien eyes should be blurry, a little bit blurry. But what I see in my experience with the plasmas is when you move faster than 240 pixels per second, then the motion, it doesn't scale like linearly. The motion breaks a little bit because of other limitations, like gray to gray and all that. So basically, on my Pioneer Kuro or the Panasonic, at 480 pixels per second, the UFO test doesn't look like it should look at having 4 milliseconds of persistence. So the plasmas don't closely follow the Blurbuster's law because of other limitations. OLEDs do. OLEDs closely follow the Blurbuster's law because the gray to gray is ideal for the refresh rate.
Right.
So a plasma test, motion clarity test of those needs to be done, and I've never seen it. So I've been hunting for it because it's actually very easy to test, but the old reviews are just using old methodology that doesn't explain the motion well.
Well, it's just like, when are these guys going to start making these TVs have, like a rolling scan, something to improve the motion clarity? I think we actually had progress with the CX and the C1, and then we went way backwards.
Yeah.
And the interpolation on the Samsungs is okay, Ariel, but I still see artifacting, and you do have increased input lag there. I mean, ideally, I would like to have the increased motion clarity without getting a hit with the input lag, and also not getting a hit with any artifacting or anything weird like that, or really excessive flickering that hurts your eyes,
Yeah, for sure. Now, to the flickering point, phosphorus decay reduces the flickering, the perception of the flickering.
Yeah.
So thanks to the phosphorus decay, CRTs work well. Otherwise, the flickering would be unbearable. Right. So I don't think it is because of the phosphorus decay. It's just the gray to gray, which you might think, well, that's why you see the phosphorus decay. But the thing is, plasmas having the phosphorus decay and CRTs, they work because of that. If there was no phosphorus decay, they would not work well. Yeah. So it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Ricardo, you're right. Game Motion Plus definitely works really well.
We can do this. Again next week or later this week. I was hoping this was gonna work. Unfortunately, maybe if I tried with that razor blade, I would break it. The thing is, I don't believe it's gonna work on this one because it just it looks like nothing happened here. Like the wet paper towels didn't do anything to it, and it looks like a thick panel. That's like a one big chunk.
Yeah, because usually the anti-glare, it's super, like on the IPS ones that are water-based, it's so thin, the anti-glare, that when you take it off, you're going to be shocked at, like, it's thinner almost than a piece of paper, as crazy as that sounds.
Well, this one seems to be very, very thick, very aggressive.
So it probably isn't water-based.
Yeah. This one seems like awful, really, really aggressive. So yeah, it didn't work, but I mean, I think one good takeaway from this live stream is what Luke said. If you have a Samsung, like check your IPS panel. If it was made by Samsung, maybe you have a higher chance to getting a review.
LG.
Oh, LG.
Yep.
If it's an LG IPS, then you have a higher chance. If it's a V8, then Luke is saying that's like big no.
Don't even try it.
Don't even try it. So that's important to know. Most of the TVs are, or a lot of the TVs are V8, so I will not try it there. So yeah, it didn't work, but I didn't break the monitor, so that's good. It was not the worst result. So let's leave it there, man. Thank you very much for joining. We had over 100 people in the chat. I was hoping to get it working, but it didn't work. Like, that's why I do it in real time. See, I do these things in real time because there is no, I mean, it doesn't get any more transparent than this. If I break the monitor, I want you to see it. If it works, I want you to see it. Like there's, I am not hiding anything. So if I try this and it didn't work, then I don't make the video. Then I have, a bias, and then I'm hiding something. If I do it in real time, there's no way I can hide anything. So that's why I like to do this in real time. And when I get the S95F, I will do it in real time, even if it takes how many hours after you do the paper towel with the QD-OLED? How many hours would you say we have to do? 4?
For the paper towel?
For the QD-OLED, yeah. For
Yeah, I'd say like
S95F,
6 hours, but I've had people keep it on longer and it didn't make much difference after that. So there's like diminishing returns. So
okay,
it's
we'll do
still,
a 5-hour stream then.
yeah, you're still gonna have to. There will be some peeling, Ariel, even with the paper towel with a QD-OLED, but it will be significantly easier than if you just try to go and do it after running the TV for like an hour.
So maybe I'm going to try. I mean, if I warm up the TV, it wouldn't make any difference because then the water is gonna cool it down. So
Yeah, no.
that's
I
not
mean,
gonna
you don't want to do both. I mean, that kind of is counterproductive, right? Because it's
yeah.
gonna be drying the
So
water
I
and
think what I'm
stuff.
gonna do is wet paper towels, and then once I start peeling it off, I'm gonna get a spray with the water, the still water. I'm gonna spray to see if that helps to dissolve the material. Or maybe, don't you think once you get it started, you just put a little bit of water and wait a moment to dissolve, and then maybe it will feel off easier?
Yeah, I think
Because
it would.
once you have it started in between the TV and the layer,
Yeah,
the water can have more effect, and then you. So I'll try that to see if I can
yeah,
show in real time. I think it's very important because you might think, oh, I don't have 5 hours to look at a live stream. But if someone spends $4,500 on their 77-inch S95F, yes, they will spend 5 hours because they want to see that working. They want to see the struggle. They want to see what it takes. So that's what I want to show. I want to show you what it takes, how long it is, the problems that I have. If I break the TV, I want to show you that too. So I think it is very, very important to do this. And if it works and it's very easy, then a lot of people are going to be like, okay, this is just a no-brainer. I'm going to do it right now. So they're going to be happy with it. A lot of people send me proof and they are very happy. So next stream, if I do it from my PC, I'm going to show more pictures that I have from many other people who send me their pictures. So also, if you've done it, send me your pictures. I'm going to drop my email here in the comments.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of people now. I've gotten a lot of messages of people doing this. So both QD glossy, QD matte, monitor, and TV. So a lot of people have done it. I just want to answer one more. Huge vibes. Yeah, I will be posting my calibration results. Dwayne D Nice is going to come next week. I think either Wednesday or Friday next week, depending on when he goes to Value Electronics to calibrate the TVs there for people that they're buying. I don't know if he'll let me record anything that he does here. He may not want that. I'll find out, but I definitely post the results to all 4 TVs he does, and I definitely want to find out what the full screen brightness is on all of them and how they compare to others that he's done. He's done a lot of 95Ds with a matte, obviously, so he could tell me how far off it is when he comes here and does that. And I agree, Ricardo. I've had D Nice calibrate many of my TVs in the past, and I do think he is the best for sure.
So
One of.
someone asking, some people ask, is this like something legal to do? Or some people might ask or might say, oh, don't do that to your TV. Or the thing is, once you buy the TV is yours. You do with it whatever you want. Now, some people are afraid of losing the warranty. The Samsung's warranty sucks. I think the best warranty you have is if you purchase your TV from like Costco, you have like 3 months to replace it or return it, or if you pay for the Best Buy membership. And I did, and that wasn't the best warranty I could get because I was able to replace. I mean, I got 6 TVs to end up with 2, and I had a bunch of issues. So that's the best warranty I think you can get. Get a membership or something that allows you to return the TVs. And after that, I think the manufacturer's warranty kind of sucks. Hopefully, you don't have an issue with the One Connect box. But even if you do, was it you that mentioned you can, if you have an issue with the One Connect box, you just mail that or something?
No, you call up Samsung and say I have a problem with my One Connect box, they'll just mail you another one. You'll get it in a day or 2.
Okay,
They're
well,
really good about that.
they just mail you the One Connect box, so it doesn't
Yep.
even matter. So that's the biggest concern I think with that. And
Yep.
look at this Costco warranty, like $99 for 4 years, something
Yeah.
like that. I never pay for extra warranty or anything like that. But if you're for Samsung, with how bad they are, I think it's not a terrible idea to pay for some warranty. Some people are concerned about burning. I would say with Samsung, don't be concerned about burning. The TV is gonna break well before that. It's Samsung.
Yeah. I mean, I use my phone all the time, and I had a 13 Pro beforehand for 2 years.
No, the phones are great.
Wait,
I
3
mean,
years? Yeah, I never had burn-in ever.
yeah, phones are great. Okay, let's leave it there. I mean, we've been already over 2 hours. Thank you
Yep.
very much, Luke, for joining.
You're
We're
welcome.
gonna do more of these
Sure.
in the future, and yeah, check out Luke's channel. I'm gonna have a link in the description of the video. You're gonna keep going up with the content. You're gonna keep going with YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so
got
we're gonna
tons more
support
coming
Luke.
up, with all the
Check his channel.
calibrations and everything.
Subscribe.
So,
He
yeah.
has a lot to share. He has been doing this for a lot longer than me. He knows a lot. He has more experience with TVs and displays in general than me. I come from Cuba. I never had the chance to have these. I had a 720p office monitor for gaming. That's what I had.
Hmm.
So check him out. He knows a lot, especially if you're doing this, peeling your display. He's done it all. CRTs. He has messed up some TVs too. So get that experience. Ask him any questions, and yeah. You have any final words to say before we finish?
Yeah, just if you all are gonna try this, be careful. You use a razor blade. I've had some people say they got cut. FOMO got cut. So just be careful. I felt bad when he was bleeding. I'm like, I caused somebody to bleed pretty much by what I'm sharing. So just be careful. That's all I gotta say.
Well, but if that's what it takes to remove the matte finish,
Then
I
you
think
shouldn't be
it's
removing
worth
it.
it
It
because
shouldn't really require that on a QD-OLED at all. No.
it's that bad. Okay, let's leave it there, man. Thank you very much for joining. You guys take care and see you next time.
Take care,
Have a
everyone.
good